Hi you guys, it's Lisa. Thanks for joining me at my channel. Today I have a real fun project for you. I'm using some more wallpaper. I have so much because I went to a wallpaper store and they gave me all kinds of books. So I like to cut out these images and use them in my projects. My kitchen is all chicken and roosters, so this is going to be great. I have this stencil here that I thought I might be able to incorporate it to look like chicken wire in the back. So here I'm going to use a 6x7 MDF board that I had already put some Christmas paper down on, and I thought I would be able to save this by just going over with some different kind of background paper. So we're using some background paper and my matte medium and giving it a great cover. And we're actually going to do two pieces today because I couldn't decide which chicken to do. Now, if you watch my videos at all, you know this paper here. This is some wallpaper from a kitchen project. I am still using it. I think I've probably put it in 10 different projects. I just love the texture that it creates. So I'm putting it down with my matte medium, and you could use your matte gel because this is pretty thick. So whatever you feel. I have some rooster looking paper here. It's a maroon check, and I thought I would rip that to have a square behind the rooster so that it would pop. So I'm just tearing it to give it another bit of dimension. And we're going to work on this background a little bit more. So I added another piece of that wallpaper, and everything's dry. I thought that paper with the music notes was a little bit bold in the background, and I wanted to push it back. So I'm using some gesso and then wiping it just a little bit with a baby wipe. You've seen me do this technique before. Making sure that it's dry, and then we're going to try that chicken wire in the background. Now I have some information for you at the end of the video, so be sure to stay tuned. I have an idea, and I'd like your comments to let me know if you think it's a good one or not. I'm thinking about doing an online class, and we'd be featuring Stamperia. So wait for that in the end. So here I'm just adding some acrylic paint to the inside portion of that background, and I'm going to wipe that up with my baby wipe, and hopefully it will kind of look like chicken wire. I thought it might, and it does, but it's very bold for me. So you know what we've got to do. We're going to give it a little wipe and take some of it off with our wet baby wipe. And then we're going to, of course, give it a dry and put some, I guess I didn't put down my white gesso on this one, but you'll see in the next one I do. I probably put it down in the end. Now here I'm putting some of that red checked wallpaper down, and my matte gel is almost to the end of the container, and it was getting real thick. So here I just added some water to thin it out a little bit. Going over all the edges and making sure that I have a good stick down. And just using a soft brush to do that. I'm gonna put that chicken down. And I cut his little foot off, so I have it sitting aside. I hope I remember to put that on. I think I do. I have a little bit of a cold, and everyone looks at you like because you maybe have a little sniffle or something that you're contagious, but nope, it's just a little springtime cold. You know, you don't know if you should wear a sweatshirt or a winter coat or a hat and gloves or shorts. You know, it's just real difficult this time of year. But I've taken a little zinc and I'll be fine, not to worry. I hope you guys are all staying healthy out there, and your friends and family are also. It's hopefully going to be over here in, a few more weeks. This has been a real difficult time. So everything is put down, and here's where I get out my gesso and push that background back. So I'm just kind of wiping it on my dry towel there and adding some gesso. I thought that chicken wire was a little standing out, a little dark there for me. So I'm using my wet baby wipe to wipe off a little bit of that gesso that I got on the chicken, and I'm hoping that it will look just fine then. And like I said, I did two of the chicken pieces, so you'll see a white one and a black one. So giving it a good dry here, making sure that nothing's sticky. And we're going to use that burnt umber acrylic paint and water to do that wash that I love in the background. I do it all the time. And I especially like the technique with this wallpaper that I have from my kitchen project. It has such great texture in the back. So adding a little bit of water to thin that paint down, and going to go over the entire piece and give it that wash and bring out all that yummy texture. These will look great in my kitchen. I really look forward to putting them up. All right. See that great texture? Oh, I just love it. Now remember, if it's not dark enough, just leave it, give it a dry, and go back with some more. Here I had a little edge coming up in the corner. I put some more matte medium down there to stick it. Giving it a little water so that it runs a bit, and dabbing it up with my baby wipe there. So you can still see the chicken wire in the background, so I think that looks real good. Just giving it a dry, and here it is. I'm trying to decide what to do for a sentiment, and I wanted Rise and Shine. So I'm using a stencil by Sean Petit and my black archival ink with a stencil brush. Now here's a good tip for you. If you're not sure that you're going to get those letters straight, make them crooked. That is something that I've learned recently. Just make them crooked. Make them go this way and that, and it looks so much like it's on purpose. But you don't have to have the stress and worry about them being straight. Now I love this stencil from Sean, and it has three different sizes of the font. So that's real nice. If it's not quite fitting it, you just use a different size and everything is perfect. So I did the Rise, and now I'm doing the Shine, and then I'm gonna squeeze in the and. You'll see it in a minute here. And make sure that you give this a good dry before you go any further. You don't want to smudge it. My ink pad is pretty juicy, so I'm being real careful here. I'm just putting that and in there. Now the second piece, the black rooster, has a different way of putting the sentiment on. I wanted to give you two options here. This one is definitely easier than the second one. Here's the second one. I did the background the same, and here I just wrote out Rise and Shine on some paper, and then I put it on my tissue paper with my carbon paper. I know it's a few steps, but I wasn't sure how to get it on there. And then I thought it was even going to be too big for my background, so I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I really like it in the end. I know I say that all the time. I really like it in the end, but you just never know. I have several pieces that I stop videoing and put it aside, and sometimes never get to it. But this one turned out good too. I like it, and I think that the chickens and roosters is a pretty popular theme, and I know I really like it in my kitchen. So I'm being real careful. This is just real fragile tissue paper, and I'm using my matte medium to stick that down, giving it a nice coat underneath and over the top. And then this and, you see here, I thought I put it on upside down, and I didn't. I have it the correct way, but silly me, I peel it up. Here's my head. I peel it up and turn it over to decide that I had it the right way, and then put it back down. I can't believe that I did not rip this piece of tissue. But I guess it was meant to be, so I got it down, and definitely going to give that a dry, so all of that is dry before we start enhancing the background. Here's the two pieces. And here's the Rise and Shine, the first one. I'm using my charcoal pencil, and I'm going to go around all of the objects and add definition with that charcoal pencil, that 6B Extra Soft. I'm also going to use my Stabilo All pencil in black and fill in those little stenciled areas on the word. And I was thinking that it would work a little bit around that wallpaper. And I use a wet brush with just plain water on it to smudge it and get it in the crevices there so it all works out. And I also go to my trusty standby, my DeWalt Intense watercolor pencil in the color Bark. And I'll list everything below like I always do, with links in case there's anything you need. Now be sure to stay to the end and listen to my idea about an online class. I know everyone is really struggling with their income, especially if you do art for a living, which I do. Well, I had lots and lots of craft shows and workshops and events coming up, and they all got canceled. So unfortunately, I had to take a job. I had to go back to work. I was a little sad about it, but when you have no income, what can you do? So someone called me and they asked me to cook for a daycare center so that the parents could go back to work. They're essential workers. And I thought, well, at least I could do my part and help out. I know how to cook. I've been a cook my whole life, and I will cook for these young kids, and their parents can go back to work, and let's get this economy moving again so that I can keep creating, go to my craft events, have workshops for you people, and make some money. Like I said, I felt kind of bad about it, but when I feel like I'm doing a little bit of a part to get the economy going and help out the parents so that I can feed their kids. So here I'm filling in that Rise and Shine that I put down with the tissue paper, and I'm using my black Stabilo All pencil and a wet paintbrush, and I'm being very, very careful here not to make it too wet so it runs. Now I did do most of this off camera because it did take me a little bit. I had to be very careful, and I just didn't want to rush the piece. But you see how we did the shading, we did the shadows. There's the Rise and Shine. Here I am using my lovely pan pastels and putting some more color to the chicken and the roosters, and I just love how these pieces turned out. and I'm going to tell you my idea here now. So I will keep creating while I talk. My idea is to do a project that would be with Stamperia products, and if you know, like I do, Stamperia products are pretty hard to get in the United States. It takes quite a while, and it just has to travel so far. So I'm thinking about putting in a large order and doing 3 different online classes. Now, the first one may not be live because I'm not sure I know how to do that yet, but I definitely can work on that. And maybe by the time I figure this out, we will have it live. But the price point is going to be a little bit high. You're going to get Stamperia products for the online class, and there's about 6 or 7 nice products that you'll get, and you'll get the online class that is only going to be available to the people that buy the kit, and then we can do it together. So you would sign up. I'm only going to have 10 people for the first one. So if you want more details, comment below and just write Stamperia online class, possibly interested. I'm thinking the price is going to be about $85 because there's going to be a lot of product in there, and then the class. So let me know. I will check those out. I'll think about it. I'm not 100% yet, but thank you for participating in this video, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day and stay healthy. Thanks. Bye.